Hey, Coach Janice here with Craft Wednesday. So I kind of contemplated on how I wanted to do this a few different times, but we're going to get into it, right? Like, just got to get into it. I hyped it up, okay? It's got to go. So I had tried approaching it in a different way before. Now, the whole point of Craft Wednesday is for those who, like me, suffer brain injuries or CPTSD or traumatic injury from whether it was from verbal abuse or stuff in your life, okay? Flashbacks are a heavy one. And I just wanted to share with you, I'll probably share a little bit of my story. We've already talked about it over in the documentaries, so you can hear all about it over there. I'll only take bits and pieces because it's for the workshop that this is going to be. And the point of the art, because we're going to get to that, we're going to be painting today. We're going to start with probably the sky of what we're going to paint. And the point of doing the art is I'm going to show you some tricks of how to get out of your darkness whenever it comes back. And no matter how much we heal, there's always something new to learn for this experience, right? So you're going to experience it through my experience, and this is what helped me get out of the darkness. And the other reason why I advocate for this so much is that it got dark for me. I almost took my own life for it. And I have an aunt who did take her own life, and she was alone. And the whole point of this is to make others feel not alone. Sometimes we have to heal alone. I did, and it really sucked. It really was really, really hard. And I think with my experience, the biggest thing that's harder than any of it, harder than the betrayal trauma, harder than the flashbacks, harder than all of it, is true forgiveness. Everything plastered whatever I went through, right? When you think about it, yeah, that sucked. It sucked to come to find out this person really isn't a friend, or this person isn't really who he says he is, or whatever, right? And it really just sucks. And you start questioning, why am I here? Literally, what's the point? And it's dark. Those thoughts take you dark. So, I'm going to show you some ways of getting out of that dark place. What helped me and what still helps me every time that it sometimes comes back, because I can sit here and say that I'm totally healed, but I'm not. That's the way it is, and you just take it day by day. I didn't think I was going to get emotional, but that happens too. So don't hold back your tears, even if you're men. I really hate when people shut their feelings down, and that sucks. Because they're supposed to be all tough and brave. And you know what? It's brave. It is brave to cry. It's tough to cry. You're still tough. You're still brave. It's your body's way of releasing it physically. So let it happen. It's really okay. But really, truly, just understanding all of it and everything that we ever go through in life, we have a choice to make. We can go down that dark path, and we can get stuck there. And usually that happens when we're not truly forgiving others. Even if they don't deserve it. It's not really about them, and I hated when people told me, it's not about them. It's not about them. It's about you. It is. It is. And I hated it too. So I know I can feel your cringing through the screen. I can feel it. It sucks. It's annoying. But unforgiveness is the most bitter spirit that you will carry. And it will haunt you in other ways. You'll get tripped up in other things in your life. And we don't want that. And the whole point of these videos is to help you escape that and get back on track. And I'm going to show you things that helped me. Okay? And one of the things is that I want to discuss on here. Hold on one second. Okay, we're back. Sorry about that. Okay, so I wanted to make you think about anytime you get that bad feelings, right? Everything to do with forgiveness, really is hard, but it will hinder you. You'll stay in that bitter spirit, okay? And we don't want that. And I know it makes you cringe hearing, forgive them anyway. You don't even have to forgive them to their face. I'm not even telling you to go be friends with them again. Go hang out again. I'm not even telling you that. Whether you patch things up with those people or whatever, that's between you and God. But God has to come into this, okay? Whether you believe in any kind of religion, I don't care. I don't care. You need God for this. I promise you. And I want you to think about what I had said before. You start thinking about, what's the point of this? Like, why? What's the point? Why do we even exist? And when we start asking those questions, I want you to really ask them, but ask them to a higher source. What is the point? What's the point? And then if we go back and read the scriptures, which if you follow me on my tarot channel, God's Daughter Tarot, we read the scriptures over there. I butcher them because, they spoke weird back then, and it is what it is. But we do read them because they are important. And I didn't want to do it like one little scripture at a time, because you know how long that's going to take? We started in chapter 1, okay, Genesis. And then we're moving from there. We're just reading chapters. And then we're doing some tarot, and sometimes I do cloud reads, which I am working on one. This next one's like really hard because I have to decode some letters. Anyways. So, crap. I just forgot what I was going to say. Because I got onto the tarot channel. Sorry. In unforgiveness. You don't even have to tell them. Like, it's between you and God, right? You need God for this. So let's just pick up right there. I feel like when we ask God these questions and we think about the scriptures, we can see the spiritual war, right? Right? We can see the spiritual war. The fall of the fallen angels, the fall of Satan, whatever, right? And the materialistic world is what we reside in. And we were supposed to be in this world, but not of this world. What does that mean? What does that mean? How does some of the stories in the scriptures apply to your life? How can you apply some of it? You might not be able to apply all of it, but you might be able to apply some of it. And then to your situation, to the trauma. What was the point? What's the point? The point is, because it's a higher picture. It was always about our choices. You always had the power within your own life of how it was going to play out, or this or that, and you always had a choice to change it. And we can't choose to make a change if we're not being the change, right? So if we're going to sit in our sadness and our anger, is that changing the circumstance? Is it helping the circumstance? So whenever we start getting back into those clouded mindsets, we have to pull ourselves out by thinking about what the point of all of this was. And it has to do with God too, because He's the one that when we look back at Scripture, how did they get out of the mess that they got in? They asked God, right? And so they used His help. They asked for His hand in help. Ask and thou shalt receive. So the whole point of anything is to cause an elevation, right? So if you thought about, okay, this might come off crazy, but if you think about the world as a matrix type of thing, okay, it's on tiers, it's on levels. Everyone's on some kind of level, okay? Circumstances put you at the levels that you're at, from very bottom to elite, right? And then those that are on top of the elites who control them, and it's all just like this controlling thing of Muppets and people on strings, and we're all just, but the thing is, that's being part of the world. We're supposed to be in this world, but not of this world, right? So it's the entrapment. So it was always, anything we ever go through in life is about elevation. We cannot elevate if we stay over here. And part of staying over here, what causes these blockages, is staying in unforgiveness. No matter what it was, no matter how bad it was, don't want to say it like this. It doesn't matter. I know that hurt too when my grandma told me. So she came and visited me. She's dead. She came and visited me when I was at the darkest part. When I would wake up like clockwork at 3 a.m. with flashbacks, and all I could do was cry. And that was probably the hardest thing that I heard her say is, it doesn't matter, because she didn't mean it in like that way. It matters, but it doesn't matter. Can't even say the word cry sometimes, then I just want to cry. Anyways, don't worry, all the sessions won't be like this. This is just the first one. Anyway, so she was sitting on the edge of the tub, so I was sitting in the tub when I was crying. And it didn't make sense then, right? But it does now when we look at the bigger picture of all things. We are spirits having a human experience. And some of our human experiences suck. They're terrible. They're so hurtful. But everything, and if you apply, and I also talk about this in the tarot readings, if you apply the concept of Mary Poppins to everything in life from this day forward, moving forward, apply the mentality of Mary Poppins. She's a popular loner who walks to the beat of her own drum, okay? And she does her own thing whenever she wants. She's not conformed to the things of this world, and neither were we supposed to be. And we're all stuck in this rat race, so we may as well make it better with each other, right? That's how we reunite with each other. We start a community. We start talking on these kind of channels. We join in. We be part of the community. And this is what this is about, right? Is community and friendship and love. And we all literally just want the same freaking gosh darn thing. And yet it's so hard to deliver. Yet we all want the same thing. To feel joy, peace, fit in, be loved, give love, give joy, give peace. We all want the same thing, but it's up to us to make that change, and it starts here. It starts within us. It starts with reconnecting back to God. It starts with giving Him your hurt, your pain, all of the things, right? And it's so hard sometimes because He feels so untangible to us. Like we can't reach out and actually feel Him the way I can feel this blanket, and so it makes it really hard. And yeah, sometimes you do need a building to go to church and be part of a community like that. That's okay. You don't have to. I'm not going to sit here and advocate for whatever. You do you. I'm more of a spiritualist, and that's just my journey. That's just what helped me. I know that God's real because He's entered my life way too many times. I met Him 3 times already. And so, and we talk about that in the documentaries with my accidents. And He's too real to not give commandment to. He's the one that pulled me out of it. So I'm just going to teach you how to tap into that. And then we're going to let some art happen, because art takes away from all these other things. Art is more than just painting something, art or drawing something. Art is freeing to your soul. It's freeing to your mind. You just start painting. You don't have to even, it's the one thing that you can actually control when you feel out of control. So that's why we're going to use it. Whew, okay. No more crying. So, you guys can cry all you want, but then if I keep crying over here, I won't get out the message. So you cry. I can't right now. Anyways, so whenever, I want you to think about this too on your timeline. So pick what you want, right? Whatever life you're trying to manifest, I want you to think of it in a timeline. You've always had the power. And everything always came down to choices we choose to make. And I often say that in my tarot channel. Everything comes down to choices you choose to make, all the way down to the way you think about yourself, the way you think about others, the way you talk to yourself, the way you talk to others. Treat others how you want to be treated, yeah? So when we apply that and all those other things can not only flow in better, but then we acquire that connection back to source, back to God, and it helps us accomplish more things that are outside of ourselves, that are things that He needed us to do here as humans, okay? To climb back to Him. The whole point was choosing a side. Are you, I'm going to say it just point blank, are you on God's side, or are you on the devil's side? It was always all about a choice. And choices can stem from fear. And even red flags, man. Like, I think we got kind of carried away in what a red flag is, and I'm guilty of this. And we can come to a point of, oh, that's a red flag, that's a red flag, that's a red flag, that's a red flag, but that keeps us stuck in unforgiveness, which keeps us stuck with the bitter spirit. And so now we're just pointing out so much that we're becoming a red flag ourselves, because nothing's ever good enough now. And now you'll never experience anything, because now you're just holding yourself back. So unforgiveness, I know it's annoying to hear that it's not about them. The unforgiveness really isn't. It's about elevating you forward. So it's really, really the most important key to your own success and change in your life, the changes that you want to make that you feel aren't coming. It's because you are still stuck in unforgiveness. And like I said, it doesn't matter how bad they hurt you. Your biggest glow up from that is to actually glow up, but you can't step into the glow up if you stay stuck in unforgiveness. And that is the hardest lesson that I've had to learn through all of my darkness, through all of the stuff. And there's tools that you can use, and we'll use art as part of it. But one of the biggest tools I want you to constantly come back to is I want you to imagine a timeline, okay? This timeline can go all the way to 100, okay? But we're just going to stop it at 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, okay? It's at 10. Now, on this timeline is all the possibilities that your life can be. One being not good. Okay, like 1 being bad. And 10 being like freaking up there with the elites, okay? Up there. Whatever you consider elite. And then you have the in-between choices. So really think about, use your imagination. Get into the imagination station, okay? And I want you to really think about all these possibilities that could be your life. Now, as far as like manifestation goes, right? Everything comes down to choices you choose to make. So which choice do you want? Now you have to put in the energy towards that choice with other choices that lead you to that choice. Are you still with me here? Okay, so like if I chose to stay in pain and stay in hurt, then the universe is going to pick up on that and it's going to give me more of it. I don't want that. It really sucked over there. It felt really shitty. I don't recommend. So I think that I want to make a different choice. And so when you open your mind to, okay, mind of mine, so brilliant that you are, what options can I have? What solutions to these problems? Show me all the solutions. This is your original Siri. Okay? So go to her, because she's the one that connects, or he is the one that connects straight to source. And then you and source can work on that in private. The reason you want it in private is because if someone else heard what you were doing, they would just steal your freaking idea, because we're all about this rat race that we're stuck in, right? Again, choices to choose to make. They'll suffer their own karma for that. It is what it is. And karma's a real thing, okay? So take it seriously. That's just like the laws of the land, okay? And the thing is, right, you can choose any option, but you want to choose everything that leads you to that choice. If I sat there and picked on myself and told myself how ugly I am, guess what? That's going to come true. It will, because that's all you'll train your brain to see. And then that's all the universe will pick up on your vibration. And then that's what it'll send you. And so you'll have those thoughts. Even if you don't actually appear that way, you will have the thought that you are. Because that's all you think about. So really, all of our choices come down to everything that we think about, everything that we see. What are we watching? What are we hearing? What are we listening to? You'll hear that I'm listening to Peaceful Willow right now. It's forest songs. Some of it has Native American stuff on there. Some drum beats. And it depends on everything you listen to, what brings you to a peaceful place. And so I want you to, every time you go back to that dark place and you need to come pull yourself back out, ask yourself, remember my why. Remember the goals that I'm trying to reach. What have I done today? Because we're going to take it one day at a time. What have I done today to reach that goal? What have I done today to get closer to that? What can I do today? And then do those things. If you have to make a list, by all means, make a list. I'm a huge fan of lists. Lists help me. I'll even put a little square and I'll write it all neat. And then I'm like, okay, boom, check mark that box. I was going to say check box. And I'm going to check that off and check that off and check that off. And then at the end of the day, you're like, okay, I did do things, and they were towards the goals that I was trying to reach. And every time you get into the dark place, this is where I want you to go. Now, sometimes we experience the darkness and the scary nightmares right before we lay our head down to go to sleep. That was really hard when I was in the thick of it, of reimagining the possibility of drowning again because of being hit in the head, and going up to heaven and then being pushed back down and then not recognizing anybody. And then it was like the whole thing just kept flashing back and flashback and flashback every time I closed my eyes. And I was like, oh my gosh, I can't freaking even sleep right now. Like, screw this, right? So what ended up helping me is a childhood thing that I used to do when I was a kid. If I ever got scared, it's where I talk about it. I think I talked about it in the documentaries, possibly, where I overcame my shadow wolves and found out that the forest is actually my sanctuary and the wolves are my protectors. So I want you to imagine every time that you're about to close your eyes, I want you to use my place until you find a place of your own, or maybe my place is your safe place and you can totally use it, okay? The black wolf, it's Luna. I've had that name forever for it. So if you ever meet him, that's Luna. You can say hello. He's very nice. He's my wolf gang pack, okay? So I want you to, right before you close your eyes, if you're getting the flashbacks, I want you to imagine that you're on a walk in the forest. You're safe because all the animals here, they love you, okay? They're not here to eat you because we're in spirit land right now, okay? So I want you to just go to the forest. I want you to imagine your view of what you like to see in the forest. What's there? What kind of creatures are there? What trees are there? And I want you to really just get lost in that forest. It's like the most peaceful, safe place ever. And all the animals are there to look over you. And that's what I want you to think about, and I want you to imagine that whenever you're having that fit or a dark place again. That's where I want you to go. So before you go to bed, use that tactic. Other than that, use the scale. What choices am I choosing to make? Did I say something mean to that person? I should probably go apologize. It literally matters. It matters. Because whatever you do will hinder this goal or that goal, or it'll accelerate this goal or that goal. That all freaking matters. Everything's always been connected. You just forgot. And rightly so, because I mean, look around. Look around. What are we always hustling for? What are we hustling doing so much? We can hardly even keep up. Of course, we're freaking stressed out. High cortisol this, high cortisol that. Diabetes this disease that. I know. But we all had a choice. And now we have another choice. To choose to do better, right? And to choose not to be in that way, but also to choose God's help. I'm not even joking. He got me out of so many things. He even helped me, like when Levi was about to start school, I was so scared. I was so freaking nervous. And he sent a stranger to give me a prayer about it. And I almost got mad because she said the word normal, make him be a normal kid because he has cerebral palsy, so he doesn't walk straight, you know? And so like, I was mad, and God was like, whoa, don't even. Because the point was, you were scared, and I literally delivered you a stranger. It doesn't matter what she's saying. I'm showing you he will be looked after because I also look after you. I swear. Okay, like just ask and you shall receive. Be patient with him. Not everything is going to happen and unfold so perfectly in your life on your time, because it was never about your time. It was about God's time and your choices. So what choices are you going to choose to make today? Okay, so get into meditation, and we're going to paint buildings, but we're probably only going to get to the sky because I don't want to take even more of your time, because I'm sure this video is going to be very long now, and that's okay. And your painting, you can use canvases if you want. You can go as big as I did. You can have one whole big one. I have 6 medium-size canvases put together to make one big canvas because I had this bright idea that it was going to look cool. So we're going to find out if that's true or not. It's all about testing things out, right? Right. Don't always need a blueprint. But I felt like buildings will be an easy thing to do. Hear me out. When we do it. It is, because they're more about lines. You don't have to be super detailed. You can if you want. It's an easier thing to teach for right now, but also because I just really wanted to paint some buildings from Virginia City, and so that's what we're going to be painting. So, yeah. And you can do on paper, like I said, you can do color pencils, you can do whatever you want if you don't have canvas. If you do have canvas, cool. If you don't, you just want to watch for a second and then pick it up later and come back to it later, cool. That's up to you. That's totally fine. That's totally fine. So, yeah, let's get into meditation real quick. And in our meditation, I want you to grab with your breath. I need your imagination again. Come up here. I want you to grab your breath like a net. Like it's a net. When you breathe in, you're gonna grab all the negative, the hurt. Maybe you feel some pinching in your back. Okay? Just gather it all up and then breathe it out. So, in meditation, that's what I want you thinking about. Nothing else. We're clearing out negative energy, negative thoughts, hurtful thoughts, mean thoughts, sad thoughts, things that keep us stuck. Unforgiveness. We don't need it anymore. Dang it. Okay. Now, I study Ayurvedic medicine, and we call these ether, air, fire, water, earth. Okay? I want you to have them all touching each other. Okay? Onto your knees. Breathe in your nose, and I want you to really fill up your lungs. Just fill them up all the way to the top. And like I said, we're going to just gather all the negative, all the pain, even in our back. It's where we store it the most, is our back. Why we age and we're always like, my back. Because we're storing a bunch of pain. Alright. I want fire. So your thumb and your middle finger, please. With air that we breathe in, we're going to burn out the negative. Like, literally imagine the little strings that happen within our lines, like in our body, that we have like these lines, okay, like a grid, and there's energy points on them. And I want you to think about these energy points, and that's the energy points that we're gonna light on fire, because they're gonna capture all the breath. The breath's gonna capture the negative. The negative is what we're gonna burn. So I just want you to like play with that image, okay? And I want you, okay, middle fingers and thumb, fire element. I want you to burn it out. Breathe in, burn it all out, and breathe out. If it helps to imagine the color red, do that. Now I want you to cool down. So we're going to switch from the middle finger to the ring finger for water element. I want you to imagine that the stuff that we just burned is like a river flowing of nice, cool water. And we're just going to let it flow through. And breathe in. And cool it all down. Breathe out. Doing good. I know it doesn't seem practical to sit there and doing this in public somewhere, but even if all of a sudden in public you're getting that anxiety attack, I want you to sit somewhere, whether it's on a bench, on the ground, and just sit. You don't have to do the hand movements if you don't want to. But just sit and breathe. And let the ground take it. Let Mother Earth take it. Let the wind around you and the air around you take it. And then reclaim your mind. Whenever you go back to that dark place, I want you to say, I see you. I hear you. But I'm not there. I'm right here. What is here? I want you to point out whatever it is that you see around you. Right now, we see that I'm on my bed. And I can say, I'm not in water. I'm not drowning. I'm on my bed. I'm on my soft cow blanket. I'm here. I can look over there and I can see my grandpa's painting. I'm like, okay, I'm safe. I'm home. I'm not in the water. I'm okay. And I want you to think about that every time. Okay? And use those exercises. So, now, the colors you're going to need, you can do whatever background on your canvas. It could be a totally white canvas if you want, that's fine. I'm going to need you to have some kind of pencil or a charcoal pencil, whatever. If you have a like piece of burnt wood even, that's your charcoal, go ahead, you can use that. We just need to make some basic lines, and I'm going to show you to find your center, and then we go out from lines from there. If you need a ruler, cool, that's fine, you can get a ruler. So I'm going to move you over there to where the canvas is at, but I got to get more light. Alright, you ready? Let's paint. Okay, and I like to use my apron, okay, because we're using oil paints, so those get real messy. Okay, and I'm on my trampoline because sometimes we just gotta play. Alright, jump around, we gotta play. Alright, let me bring you in a little closer. Okay, now we have all these lines. This is part of the building. Let me show you the picture actually that I took real quick that we're going to be painting. Alright, now with that being said, right, I know you can barely see my my lines. Alright? Okay. So this is the road. Alright, now we have to pick a point of our center. right? Now you have an area of space. Choose your center, okay? The center is where all the lines will end up meeting together. Okay, so all these lines meet up here. I decided that this is my center. So in that picture, you can see very faintly because there's a lot of cars in the way, a lot of people. It's a very busy town. But you can almost see the hill that brings you back out and then out of the town and out through the hills to get out. You can almost see that in the back. So that's going to be my center point, okay? All these building lines are going to meet up with it. The sidewalk path is going to meet up with it. The street's going to meet up with it, and on this side as well. And then eventually we're going to draw our lines that come down this way, right? And if you need a ruler for this, totally, that's fine. Now, on here, you can barely see these, so I'll try to go darker for you. Okay. And then I just kind of made this roof thing that's going on, and I'm not getting too crazy in the detail. I just need basic lines of where things are, because these will be where like the buildings are and their signs and all that stuff, right? Easy to erase. Now this side over here kind of effed up on me. So technically this should come down a little bit more to meet correctly at the horizon. Right? So once we get like our basic outline of where our buildings are going to go, we can start filling things in. And you want to start with like your backgrounds first, because then you can paint on top of them. That's why we're going to start with the sky. Okay, so and like I said, again, you can start with a black canvas, white canvas, you can paint whatever. I just mixed orange, blue, red, and white together and got this little hue going on. A little bit of purpley. I don't know what happened in there. There's some orange, yellow, greens. I think there's green. Maybe there isn't green. Anyways, it doesn't matter how your background is. And then charcoal helps, pencils help, whatever is tangible to you, okay? So once you figure out where your lines are gonna be, and you can totally copy what I did, that doesn't matter to me. You can go shape for shape, copy for copy. If you need to take a still shot of this, that's totally fine too. All right. That should have given you enough time to give you a still shot. Or pause it. All right. So let me go grab my paints real quick. We're getting blues. All right, hold on. All right, so we have the Georgian blue. Okay. This one's your cerulean blue, your cobalt blue, and your light gray blue. All right. And now we pick a brush, darling. Pick the brush. I think I'm gonna go for this one. We have a lot of space to color. And yeah, that's fine. I think I'm just gonna use this one. So I do use a liquid white to add to it, just to lighten up certain areas, but we'll do that in a second. Okay. I'm gonna be starting with the cobalt blue and the gray blue. And I'm gonna start kind of in the center. I'll probably take these off the wall and go on the edges, because I like my paint to wrap around. I don't like my edges being plain. I just don't like that here, personally. So go ahead and pick your blue and the gray blue. We're gonna need some white in there. We're gonna need some of this liquid white up in here. So just kind of play with it. All we're doing is filling in where all the blue is. We're gonna need some like liquid clear in here. Yeah. We gotta bust out the liquid clear. Hold on. Okay, liquid clear. Spread that on real quick, and then let's get back to the painting. Okay, with using liquid clear, just know that a little goes a long ways, but it will help you spread the rest of the paint evenly, perfectly over it. Okay. Sometimes that's the tricky thing, is getting the right consistency. You don't want to sit here forever. Like, that gets annoying after a while. Okay, so I like that effect when I go a little lighter here, and then I blended those two that we're using, and then stuck it on. And you're not here to become the best artist in the world, although, I mean, the possibilities, of course, that depends on you, what you feel like you want to practice. The point of it, remember, is we're getting out of our hurt, out of our pain, out of our mindset. I'm getting to a place where we don't use other crutches. Use your creativity as your crutch. Tap into it. Sometimes we get little hairs, just go ahead and pick them up. Let random thoughts flow for once in your life. It's weird to me. I've heard that before, like, some people don't have thoughts. Like, what? Like, okay, I'm a Gemini, so my brain's like, chat, hey, it won't ever shut up. Okay, just double checking. Sometimes my sound goes out. Okay, I have to hold these. You can pick any place to do art, bro. And yeah, I was like, oh crap, my white walls. Anyways, I went off topic, you guys. I do that sometimes. But yeah, anyways, I was saying, like, chatty brain over here, just constantly talking. Sometimes I have to tell myself to shut up, like, geez. It was funny. So I was getting my tires done the other day. Dude, I was so pissed at Costco, like, you know what? That's the stupidest thing I've ever heard. They legit didn't want to change my tires that I ordered from them. Because currently I had 33s and I was changing back to 35s because fuck 33s. I like my 35s. They make me feel like I'm in a monster truck, okay? And so, yeah, I was like really annoyed. Like, they call that their policy. What kind of policy is that? It fits the rim. Okay, I have a lift on my truck for a reason. Jeez. Anyway, so I was at Chevrolet yesterday. Oh, I timed. So, and I'm waiting. I get checked in. I'm waiting. Freaking 5 hours later. And of course, you know, they talked me into an oil change because honestly, my truck was yelling at me and I needed it. And I was getting kind of worried about it, yelling at me for the last 2 months. So I buckled down and I ended up doing that. And the gas filter, because the fuel filter, also bad. Whatever. Anyways, I'm looking through the magazine. And I look through all the magazines and then I see these books. They're these old books, classic books of back when cars started. Because, you know, I'm at Chevrolet, so of course they're gonna have car books, right? And it's pretty interesting. It's very educational. And I died laughing because at one point I actually was like, I'm gonna add some white into this over here. At one point I was like talking to myself, okay, because we're on the subject of how do you not have thoughts in your head? Well, I'm gonna share my thoughts this day. So I'm looking through and I'm seeing all the different things. I'm gonna show you these images real quick. Hold on, let me pause this. I'll show you what I'm looking at. So, yeah, look how far cars have come. Like that, they literally were like bicycles. Okay, and so could you imagine this? Like, I was looking through, I'm like, holy crap, these are literally bicycles. like they're bicycles. Literally. What the heck? That's how cars started. And that's pretty freaking fantastic, but my brain went to, okay, I'm gonna add darker colors now. We're getting towards the edges over here. So my brain went straight to a conversation and a car wreck from back in the day. Okay, my imagination, mind you. Oh, shoot. Harriet goes, oh my gosh, we got into a car wreck yesterday. It's all right, I'm all right. I just scraped my knee a little bit. But Barbara, it was a doozy, you know? And that's just where my brain went. And it was just hilarious. I have to go get more cobalt blue. And the light gray blue, guys. Okay, so it's just like, how do you not live your life without thoughts? Like, that is so boring. You don't have thoughts? That's so boring. How? I don't believe it. I don't believe it for a second. You don't have thoughts just randomly jumbling around in your head, just constantly all day, every day. And not even judging things. It's just like random shit, usually. It's actually where my best inventions come from, are my thoughts. Like, how do you not think? I don't get it. I don't believe it. What are you, a robot? Oh, hey, where did that color come from? Not cool, man. Not cool. Okay. So yeah, try to look at those magazines. They're pretty cool. Pretty crazy how we did that. And everything that was ever invented was a thought first. So how the freak do you guys not go around just thinking thoughts all day? Goodness, that's boring. Like Geminis, man, we can just like literally entertain ourselves. That's why we do stay alone a lot. We get wronged a lot because we get just misconstrued, I feel like. But we actually run on our emotions. You know what? What's that one? Inside Out, right? Those emotions, dude. Isn't everybody like that? How are you not? Like, that's literally a Gemini to a T, right there. We feel our emotions, we are our emotions. We wear our emotions, wear the way we dress sometimes, feeling this way, feeling that way. We just go by our mood, man. I don't get it. I don't get why that's so. We just embrace that, right? We like change. It's like, I like to rearrange my room, or I like to rearrange my stuff, just because I like change. I don't see what's wrong with that. Express yourself however you want, you know? You are the only you there is. So be the most fantastic you there is, because there's only one of you. That's pretty cool, right? I don't know. I think it's freaking awesome, and yes, we're gonna go through some shit, so, and it's not always gonna be fun. But you know what? Uh-oh, I got my wall. It's life, and we get to choose. We get to choose this way or that way, and we get to choose if it hurts us anymore. We get to choose that. We always had that choice. I think that's why it baffles me so much that, and even I do it to myself, that we choose the choices we choose. Like, what made me choose that choice? I don't know. But no one can truly make you choose that choice. You have to choose that choice, right? You made the choice, you chose the choice, and now you gotta live with the consequences. But know this, that once you start adding God to yourself, to your choice is, guess what's so cool? Whatever choices you choose, right? Even if they ended up being not such a good choice, and now you're like in a kind of a hiccup, just ask God like a way out. So use your little computer like we talked about earlier. Your brain was the original Siri. The original Wi-Fi connection to God himself and the spirits, yes. Oh yes. He will show you the way. Oh, yes, he will. All you have to do is ask, and he will. You know? All you had to do was ask. Ask and then shall receive. Oh. And just be your weird self. Like, who cares? You have to go through. If you go back and look at all my videos, yeah. You watched me climb Cringe Mountain. Honestly, I'm probably still climbing it. It's cool. It's fun. I mean, I'm not bored. So, I mean, there's that. There's always a plus. Just, you can't always look at the glass half empty. Half empty, but you can fill it up with something else. So, fill it. Fill your cup. Fill it up. Yeah, the tarot reads are pretty fun. I like them. I'm kind of playing with the whole Bible reading thing. Everything I do, dude, I just freaking, I'm out here winging it, bro. I don't fucking know what I'm doing. I'm just doing it. And sometimes it's scary because, you know, like the whole, especially if you go back to the beginnings, I have to move my trampoline more. This actually became pretty handy. And I can bounce a little, bounce. Get a little energy out. Actually, don't do that when you're doing this part. Good thing I got wrapping paper right there. I forgot what I was gonna say. Of course I did. Come here, chair. My little stand, my little holder. Dang, I really wish I remembered what I was gonna say. That's okay. Thoughts are always there. So we'll come back. Anyways, yeah, just learn how to play some more. Get a trampoline while you do this. It's actually pretty fun. Why have I never painted this one before? I don't know, darling. I don't know. Oh, that's what I was gonna say. Cringe Mountain and shit. Okay. Yeah, just like once you can just not care, which sometimes is a hurdle because the first thoughts that you have when I started, I was like, my whole past, future, present, they're all gonna see this. So like, you know, I don't know. And then angles get you, like, I don't know, maybe it's body dysmorphia that I got, but listen, angles, they're so mean. They're mean, like school children, they're mean, okay? Like the other day when I was doing the workout, and I said featuring worst angles ever. Because you know what, if I didn't make that video, I would have slacked. I can't slack on you guys, I can't slack on myself like that, come on now. And there's times that I get dark, and I get into my dark places, and to pull myself back out. Okay, I like that, wispiness, I like that. And you know, you gotta get yourself out of it. You gotta get back to playing, back to having fun. And I know that it's hard, but that's why you're here at this channel, to learn how to do that again. I had to learn that. Okay, so now I might put some wispy clouds or something. And so all we're gonna do with that, they're not gonna be like that showy, I don't think. Maybe. Okay, maybe so. And you're just gonna do little circles. They're there, but they're not there. I need to go get some more white. Ugh, goodness. Oh no, what's happened? That's probably good. So we'll do a little more, because you know. Yeah, oil paints are friggin' messy. Okay. So I'm adding some white. And you can add like more dark areas too. You don't have to do everything crazy. You know, clouds come in all different shapes and sizes, so calm down. We're gonna go back with this with another brush too that's a little bit drier to get more wispy out of it. That's what's cool though too about the oil. Like, yeah, it's a little bit harder to play with sometimes, but also it's kind of fun. Like, you can go back, right? It's still wet. You can go back a couple days later and be like, you know what? I want to change this a little bit, and you can change it a little bit. That's why I like the oils better than the acrylics. Although I did use acrylics on the background. Whenever I do my backgrounds, I do use acrylic because they dry fast. And then you're left with a little bit more of a smoother canvas background to paint on. Smoother surface, I should say. A smoother surface. Yes. Let your weirdness shine, man. There's only one you. I don't know what you guys can see of my body parts right now. All I can think about is a little bit of a chicken wing happening while I do this, you know. Don't judge me, I'm working on it. Push-ups, baby. Yeah, if you're thinking of doing videos, like, go back to mine, watch my cringeness, and that should help you get over your cringeness. Like, you can be like, well, it wasn't as bad as layout. And I sit here and I make fun of myself because I can. And that's okay. Hey, I don't like that. You did that to me. It's not nice. Stop it. Stop it, hair. No. Get out of here. I can't have you in my canvas. It's not very nice. The lighting in here is terrible, I know. I need to really work on it. It takes money to get the equipment that you need, you know, so subscribe, that helps me. Yeah, we kind of went crazy with the clouds. But it don't matter. No, I don't want them there. I want them here. And this isn't like a cloudy, gloomy, cloudy day. There's just some clouds. Just saying, hey, what's up, bro? Just passing through, passing through. Just put them however you want. It really doesn't matter. We're not here to be perfectionists, okay? We're here to clear our mind and do something different than what we usually do. We're creating safe places and places that we are in control. Okay? Places we are in control. Now, I need you to get a fluffy brush of some sort. A fluffy. So that we can go in there. It needs to be dry. We're going to go in here and just kind of blend them out. So they kind of blend in with the sky a little better. I just wanted these clouds to be wispy. I didn't want them to be like bold. They're the kind that don't really stand out. But they're just there chilling. can't do this, being naked is me. My arm, it needs a break. That happens, you know, that happens often. Especially when we're standing. Whew. Sometimes I'm ambidextrous, let's see. It doesn't have the right rhythm or flow. Hey, it's not too bad, not too bad. Alright, alright. Nice and easy, not too heavy. Okay. Okay, I still like my other. It's still fun to practice. I had to do that once because I broke my arm. I had to eat left-handed. And then I tried it out because my brother is left-handed, and I was like, oh, I want to spend a whole day trying to be left-handed because how cool would that be? Because everybody's right-handed, you know? Like, lefties are just so rare, you know? How cool to be on the left. Anybody else? You see thoughts being taken away. All right, that's all for today. Okay, we're gonna just like leave that there, and then we'll tackle this next Wednesday. Hold on one second. So yeah, we'll tackle this, the rest of it next Wednesday, and maybe we'll get to the buildings. That'll be fun. Remember, everything's just shapes, and we're just trying to get out of our head and out of our sadness, out of our loneliness or our pain or whatever's going on. Dark places and things like that, this is how we work through them, because you matter and you belong here. So don't be taking yourself out of this world because you're needed. You are special as you are, and I love you. I will talk to you later. Peace.